right, everybody, welcome to the Squeakle. We're about to go live here very soon with the podcast.
I'm more of a chipwreck guy, kind of.
Is our voices up?
Yeah, they are. Up? They can hear us.
All right, never mind that.
I'm not gonna mute you again if you want to be, clandestine.
If you want to talk mad shit about the chat.
It's not important.
Okay.
That I believe.
Yeah.
Wow, it's funny. Mike, today you cracked me up on the Bumcast when Chef says like, oh yeah, in China you had to pay like 80%, and you had like the deepest side I ever heard somebody like, oh, like a tragedy happened, like they had to pay 80%.
I was trying to keep up with your like chill out, Mike. I'm like, what did I do?
No, that was
it was just my face again.
No, that was about you were saying Heisman is the best voice actor since MVC2. It was like, oh, okay.
I said he had the best bark.
Best combat bark.
Specifically.
Once again, taking my words completely out of context.
And using them against them.
Same shit. Who gives a fuck? I don't correct.
You know what? Credit where credit's due. Mike was good on the bombcast today.
Oh, yeah. It was one
It
point.
was funny.
I
it
appreciate
was
that.
pretty funny.
All right.
Pretty good. Pretty entertaining.
You guys hear me?
You guys hear that?
We do.
All right. That's good.
For me
This
to
is
listen to an
good.
entire podcast in today's day that's a compliment.
Skeet.
On you people. For real, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what happened last year.
We
I
don't
stopped
either.
I start like I just don't listen to. I watch videos. I left them like halfway there, and I don't watch them again. It's crazy.
You're probably dying.
Sounds
Oh,
right.
I hope so.
Congratulations.
Okay.
You know, that's stuck in my head. Heisman's power of kings.
Oh, that is so good. Oh,
It's so
power of
good.
kings. Some darker arts,
time.
perhaps.
And he summons a fucking ninja. Oh, it's so good. Jeff, you gotta play his fucking video game.
You think me no mage? I know something of spells.
Assassin! when he yells assassin, I really like that.
You guys sound so
Just what
cool.
a good voice.
All right.
It's not better than
Podcast.
MBC2 though.
I said
Best
best
sense.
sense. Best sense.
Oh, best sense. All right.
Ah! Superior attack.
Berserker Barrage.
Berserker Barrage. Birdie. Thanks, Birdie. Yeah, boss. That's the beat 'em up, but yeah.
Okay.
I need to play that Punisher. beat 'em up.
Yes.
That-
Same
song.
I haven't even touched it.
Actually
But it
played
doesn't have multiplayer. It's so sad. Well, it has multiplayer. It doesn't have like online.
online.
I
podcast, Jeff.
am ready for the podcast
Sean
now.
is right. Thank you, Dan.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Here we go. I'm going to count us in. Mike, are you ready?
I am ready, sir.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, just one last thing. In 5, 4, 3.
Hey, you guys hear me? Start cheering now! Yeah, let's get this over with. Yeah.
Woof, woof. Hi, I'm Mike Minotti, and I am a Nintendog.
Hi, I'm Jeff Grubb, and I am a Nintendog.
And we are the last of the Nintendogs. Today, hey, I sure could go for Metroid Prime 2 right now. I'm going to make Jeff apparate that. Apparate?
Apparate, yeah.
Apparate was the word. I should have doubted myself. Hey, our Genesis NSO games back on the menu, and what do you want to see Nintendo announce at the Game Awards? But first off, Jeff Grubb, welcome back.
Thank you.
I hope you had a nice time. I mean, who could possibly have a nice time in Walt Disney World?
It was a great time. It was really a lot of fun. And I feel like there's a million more things I could talk about than what I talked about on the Bombcast today. But yeah, it was a really good time. I enjoyed just about everything that we did. Definitely, we're home, and the kids keep saying like they know Thanksgiving's coming up, and they keep saying we're thankful you guys took us to Disney World. And that's real sweet. So like yeah. knew you would like that.
Actually made the Colossus noise. I thought it was so cute.
Oh no, a natural Colossus. Oh no.
A natural Colossus.
So yeah, it was fantastic. Definitely worth all the like the time, the planning, and the money. And yeah, we're already talking about doing it again someday.
AJ and Chris want me to get you to do maybe a 90s Disney where we do a really big trip report to get into the weeds of what you thought
That'd
about
be great.
That
would be excellent. I would be happy to do that. Yeah, because I think you guys could like guide me through and like have the questions and be like, oh yeah, like yeah, I did have an opinion on that because we're like just recalling that stuff from memory. It's like but with you guys asking your expert questions, I might have a good time doing that.
It is a lot. There's a couple things I want to know about. You did do the that Stitch character breakfast at Ohana at the Polynesian resort.
We did a lot of character breakfasts, which I think when when we were planning it, it was like I remember like kind of talking to you guys. You're like sometimes those are worth it. Sometimes I think the kids were at the perfect age where every character breakfast was a winner. Every single one was great.
They are right there at that age.
Yep.
It's a big hit.
Yep.
Which one was your favorite then? Because you did Tusker House, you did do Ohana.
We also did Cinderella's cat. Is it Cinderella's?
Oh, you said Cinderella's Royal Table.
Yes,
That's
we
right.
did. We did that.
Yeah. We did that last time. I did that. Snow White was mean to me, so I haven't done that in a while.
Merida, is that the character from Brave?
Yeah.
She came in and people didn't cheer loud enough, so she did her kind of like sassy attitude and reintroduced herself, and everyone cheered a lot louder, and that was pretty good. We also did the place in Epcot where they have like Norway or Sweden or whatever, where all the
Arkakush. Oh gosh, yeah, it's hard to pronounce that one. Chris and AJ have done that.
Yes,
one.
we did that, and the multiple princesses were at that one. So yeah, I think of all those character dinners, Tusker House was just like a really fun, good vibe because it's Minnie and Mickey, or it's Mickey. I don't know if we saw Minnie, but it was Mickey and Goofy.
No, Minnie's not there because I remember my nephews and nieces did it, and they came up to me like, Minnie wasn't invited. it's great.
And that's
they're
just
all in
like
their safari outfits.
Safari outfits. That's very cute. And Addie played paper rock scissors with Donald Duck and beat her because he could basically only do like one thing with his big dumb hand, and she kept doing like doing paper, and she kept doing scissors, so she won. And so Donald Duck did like the "I'm looking at you" gesture. So Addie started doing that to him every time she saw Donald Duck in the entire place, and a couple of times he would do it back, even if it was like someone else different in the suit. So it's like they know what they're doing there. It was great.
That's great. Did you go in the People Mover?
I insisted my family go on the People Mover. Yes. There was a couple times where I'm like, there's a couple times. Yeah, it was magical. I loved it. It was one of those ones where it's like, this is the one I'm excited about, but I could tell everyone else, like the kids even were like, what is this, Dad? What are you talking about? And then of course we get on it and it's wonderful, just like everything. So I really like that. But there was a couple where it's like, this one's a hard one to win everyone over, like Living with the Land. Could not make that one happen, even though I definitely tried. I know. I'm like, I'm gonna regret missing this. And like, there was definitely a time where like we're gonna get back over there and we're gonna do it, and then of course something else happens.
Yeah, but there's so that's what I always told you and everybody. You're gonna miss things, not gonna do everything. It's fine.
Yeah, we definitely got in that mode for sure. There's times where it's like we've really been planning to do this all day, and then trying to make that stuff got a little stressful, but we just rolled with it, and by the end of the night, we were always pretty satisfied with our days.
There's one point where you were trying to get from Hollywood Studios to Magic Kingdom, and you took the sky buckets and then the monorail, and I was like, that's going to be a bit of a trek there, but it was fun transportation.
We're correct, and so we were trying to get to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique for the kids to get their either their dresses or their t-shirt and their hair done, and we had an appointment at 2 p.m. and I looked it up a bunch of different ways. It's like, okay, this whole trek could take about an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. That's enough time, and it'll be a fun way to ride the monorail to one of the other theme parks. And it's like, by the time we got to Epcot from the Skyliner, it's like, oh, we're definitely not going to make this. And I definitely got in a little bit of trouble for suggesting the whole thing in the first place because it was definitely my idea. And I'm like, okay, new plan. And we had to like book it from Epcot to... What's the resort that's closest to Epcot?
Oh, Beach Club. Yeah,
Beach Club.
Get like an Uber there.
Yes, no, we just ran to Beach Club, and I was able to find the bus right away, and we got right on the bus. Magic Kingdom was basically leaving, and we made it at like 2:05, and it turned out our appointment was at 2:05, so we did make it just on time.
You got to see the Beach Club. That's kind of the Minotti home resort.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
That's our number one.
I thought it was very cute. I really like the Beach Club. Very nice.
Yep. All right, great. Well, I'll spare people who don't care about Disney now, but I'm glad you had a great time. Again, we'll find a place to get a really long conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
With you about all of that. Let's talk about some Nintendo stuff here, Jeff, including new rumor Metroid Prime 2 Remastered, allegedly planned for a Switch release in early 2025. A Twitter insider named Samus Hunter 2, who's done some leaks before, says that, this standalone launch was originally supposed to happen this year. It got pushed back and is now probably happening early next year, maybe in between Donkey Kong Country Returns HD and Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Obviously, we're going to be getting a lot of remasters and ports next year. What do you think, Jeff? I don't know I doubt you've heard anything, but do you believe that Metroid Prime 2 Remastered is happening early next year?
Yeah, I mean, I it's what I've heard is the stuff I heard a long time ago, which is that, it's done and has been done. And then that goes back to what we always, know about Nintendo is that they tend to do this these days is get these games, finish them, and then hold on to them for a variety of reasons. But mostly it seems to be they just want to pick and choose their times and make it make sense with the rest of their releases. And if it's something that fits in with another release in a franchise, they want to time it for that, and they don't want to overdo it with any of their franchises. Like Zelda's one where they're like, we're going to have like a Zelda a year, and we're not going to do more than that. So even though they almost certainly have Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD sitting there, they continue to hold on to it because they keep having Zelda games that they could put out instead. And I think as they get into the lead up to Metroid Prime 4, I think the number one sort of touch point here for what this will look like is Pikmin, where they had, these GameCube games and a Wii U game, and they already did Pikmin 3 Deluxe, so they had 1 and 2 ready to go. They put out 1 and 2 ready to, right in time for 4, and so they could have all the Pikmin games. I think something like that could happen. And that might not be the exact timeline of how it happened with Pikmin, but in general, I think this game's ready to go as we get closer to Metroid Prime 4 and the release of Switch 2. Putting out Metroid Prime 2 Remastered early next year feels about right to me.
Now, those Pikmin 1 and 2 re-releases on Switch, from what I understand, are pretty bare bones ports. And Metroid Prime 1 Remastered, despite that name, pretty much a remake. There's a lot of work that went in there. Do you have any idea what we should be expecting with a Metroid Prime 2 Remastered?
Something in between, maybe a little bit closer to what Pikmin was, the Pikmin remasters, because that is how I always heard it is Metroid Prime 1 was going to get the big boy remaster, get a lot of work done to it. But there is still a lot of those like control updates that they can put into this because, they had, right stick analog view looking around, which is just not something that they had in Metroid Prime 2. The way that it worked on the GameCube was, the lock on movement. So they'll have those options in there, and then they'll have all the other probably quality of life features that they had in Metroid Prime Remastered. So I think it'll be a little bit more than what happened with Pikmin, but not that much more. And the Pikmin games had been reworked a number of times as well, so I think you can expect that here.
There's a possibility that this could be announced at the Game Awards, which is coming up rapidly here. Nintendo hasn't done anything big at the Game Awards, but they do some smaller things, like here's a trailer for the Mario movie or things like that. I don't think you should reasonably expect the Switch 2 to get announced there. That'll be funny if that happened, but maybe this is something we could see.
Yeah, I mean, I always wonder like what Nintendo thinks of these awards and stuff like that. Like a lot of people are watching and they have announced things there in the past. So how do they decide to do that? And it's Nintendo, so they're weird. But something like a Metroid Prime getting announced there, and then they say, hey, and then it's coming out in a couple of months. Look out for that. That's possible. I would definitely be very happy with that. I for some reason I think I'm with you. You mentioned on the Bombcast, you think there's a chance that Nintendo's just at these Game Awards in some way that's more substantial than the past couple of times, and that feels right to me. I don't necessarily know why, but that does feel right.
Also, in the world of Metroid, an official Metroid Prime Trilogy art book is coming out in summer 2025. It's called Metroid Prime 1 through 3, a visual retrospective 212-page hardcover art book covering the original trilogy, including stuff from the Metroid Prime 1 Remastered. It's going to have some commentary from producer Kensuke Tanabe and Retro Studio staff. It's going to be on pre-order on Amazon, I believe, right now for $48.44. That's neat, Jeff. Man, I do just think all the time about how much I like Metroid. I was putting up my Christmas tree yesterday, and I got a Samus ornament from Hallmark, I believe, last year. And like just putting that one up, putting up the ornaments is always fun because you kind of do take time and look at each one. And like, this is the thing I like, or this is why this is important. And then the Samus one, I'm like, I sure do like this character and Metroid. So I don't necessarily have to go for all these art books, right? A lot of times I get them and then they kind of sit around like, why do I have this? I don't know. This one though, I want to have.
Yeah. I'm definitely getting more into these art books, especially the ones that do have the commentary from people like people who worked on the game and producers. I just was like at Dan's, and in his library, he had the N64 a visual compendium, and I was leafing through that, and I was just like, this is so well done, so good, that while like literally was sitting in the chair and put it away on his shelf, I ordered it for myself so it would be there when I got home. And I've been going through it just a few pages at a time every day. And I'm really enjoying it. Just kind of having people who are there being responsible for the N64 and kind of putting the whole thing together has been really fulfilling. And getting that just for the Metroid Prime trilogy sounds fantastic. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about just the possibilities of Nintendo partnering officially with publishers to do things like this. Have it opening up the door and letting people who worked on the game go talk about them and then to put their words in print. I mean, I don't know how much of a say Nintendo is demanding over that, or if they have anything, but just the fact that they are officially partnering with Piggyback on this, I think that gives me hope that maybe we get more and more of that kind of stuff from them in the future, and maybe there is a world one day where they are doing the Gold Master series with Digital Eclipse and things like that, and Mike Micah in the future. That would be, the awesome in game here for me. Imagine a Gold Master series collection of Metroid Prime, the Metroid Prime trilogy, in like 5 years with all of the behind the scenes stuff they could do in the digital form. That would just rule.
Speaking of hardcover compendiums, I finally wrote all my stuff for the EGM compendium.
I did it right before I left
yesterday. Yeah. So, all right, good. So our stuff is in there. So hopefully it gets, I assume it gets put in. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, I have
no idea.
There's like 3 boxes there. I'm like, they'll probably pick maybe one of these. So
that's what I was like,
we'll
too.
See,
and I kind of intentionally made one really short and pithy, and then one was like more longer and heartfelt.
Definitely.
So I was like, okay, they'll like one of these takes. I'll be excited when that happens. Next up over here. What did I tab out of my rundown? How did I lose my rundown, Jeff?
Nintendo Switch eShop and online services are ending in China in 2026, Mike.
Thank you, Jeff. The Nintendo Switch eShop and all related networks will close down in China March 31st, 2026. After that, you'll no longer be able to download games, redeem codes, or purchase DLC. It's actually starting May 15th. You can't do any of that. Switch launched in China in 2022, working with Tencent. But you kind of have to do over in Japan. You got to work with a Chinese company. From November 27th to March 31st, players with an active WeChat account linked to their Chinese Nintendo Switch will receive up to 4 free games. God, Jeff, why is this stuff shutting down so early over there?
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know. No one's explicitly saying it. So we're left to kind of guess, and we know that China's a very, very regulated market with a lot of extra costs on top of it, like the normal costs of releasing a video game, which we know is already costly in a way that a lot of these companies find very painful. But China's a big market, and so these companies have, in the last few years, last handful of years, last half decade plus, have pushed through that pain to find domestic partners like Tencent to work with, so that they can begin to get real steps into that industry. They've definitely had baby steps before what they could make happen before the regulations opened up a little bit that to even allow traditional style consoles. But at this point where it's like they're seeing the number go down for how many Switches they're selling, how much software is selling, how much engagement that is happening with the online infrastructure, and then the cost associated with continuing to run online infrastructure there, or the cost associated with paying or giving the cut to the domestic partners, Tencent, and then all of its local publishers for like putting out games there. I think that Nintendo was like, hey, this is just not going to be a cost effective very soon, so let's just make plans now to pull the plug. And you could tell that they're like, we know that this is not ideal because they're giving away 4 free games, and they're like real big first party games from Nintendo to all people who have an active eShop account. I don't know. It's wild. It's so they're trying to do a make good. So the next time they have a Nintendo device, people don't remember, oh man, that thing shut down really early and they're not going to support it. And I think they're trying to say, look, we want to continue to support it, but it just doesn't make sense. So the idea, the feeling here that they want to keep this around, but they just can't or make it make sense, says to me that there's just a lot of cost associated with it. But we don't know. Maybe we'll get more information. I meant to ask Daniel Ahmad, Shuge X, on Blue Sky. I'll reach out to him and see if I can get an answer.
There's been some small rumors about, hey, the Switch 2 is still happening like in March. The fact that this is shutting down March 31st over in China, do you think that leads any credence to that?
I don't know. It's hard to like just draw one line to the other, but it's possible for sure.
Donkey Kong Classics are showing up on Nintendo Switch Online. Last week we got Donkey Kong Land 1 on NSO. Yesterday, I believe we got Donkey Kong Land 2. I imagine Donkey Kong Land 3 will be happening
very soon
next week. These were kind of they're not ports. I don't know if you call them demakes. They are sort of bespoke Game Boy interpretations of the Donkey Kong Country games.
Right.
So they're kind of neat there. I'm indignant that we got these before Donkey Kong 94.
You're right to be. Yeah, that's really
and
frustrating.
I always say, like, at first when I was kind of upset, I was like, oh, God, it's going to be like one of these a month for a while. Kind of like we were getting Mario Party games slowly told out on NSO. But look, if they want to kind of release these a week at a time, whatever, that's fine. I think they're clearly putting these out there because we do have Donkey Kong Country Returns as the next release from Nintendo, right? So
yeah, these games were made by Rare. They were just like Rare games, and like you said, bespoke. And it's not even like Super Mario Brothers to Super Mario Land or Super Mario World to Super Mario Land. They are associated with, this is the reason people conflate Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong Land so much as being like one being a port of the other, because, in Donkey Kong Land, you play as Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. And then Donkey Kong Land 2, you play as Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, just like in Donkey Kong Country to Donkey Kong Country 2. Right. So it's like they are very much like adaptations, but no, they have a lot of their own levels and mechanics and stuff like that. So it's strange. But I do deeply associate Donkey Kong Country with Thanksgiving. So I'm like, maybe this Thanksgiving I'll spend some time with Donkey Kong Land, a game I've only ever, tried a couple of times.
Yeah, I've never played the Land ones too much. I'd maybe be interested to try them a bit. What's weird is that there is also a full-on port of Donkey Kong Country for the Game Boy Color.
Yep.
So it's wild that they got that whole game on there somehow, and I wonder if we get that too as kind of a weird curiosity.
I would love that. Yeah.
Yeah. There had to be a Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong Country also, right?
Yeah, you would think so, but I don't know, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up in a second. More interesting, it just happened a little bit ago. Oh, there was, okay. Toe Jam and Earl, Panic and Funkatron, Vector Man, and Wolf of the Battlefield Mercs have been added to the Genesis Nintendo Switch Online. Jeff, we haven't gotten new Genesis games on NSO in a while. I had kind of given up hope we were going to get
how
anymore.
How long has it been? Do you have
like over a year? It's been a while, maybe a couple of years. 17 months, says Brad Lynch. Thank you. Jeez. 17 months. So it's been a long time. It was disappointing because they were doing a pretty good job of putting a lot of interesting games on the Genesis NSO. And here, Vector Man's Vector Man. It's a game that had a lot of hype. I think it's still kind of fun to play. It can be kind of bullshitty.
I mean, Vector Man was Genesis's Donkey Kong Country, right? Yeah.
Right. It's funny. It really was positioned as that, even though they play nothing like each other. This is a run and gun game.
Right.
But it was very good looking and was using new tech and the pre-rendered graphics and whatnot. Toe Jam and Earl, Panic and Funkatron. That is a big favorite of mine, actually. I'm one of the sickos who likes this more than the original Toe Jam and Earl. So like Toe Jam and Earl and most of its sequels are top-down roguelikes. Panic on Funkatron is a weird sort of 2D action puzzle platformer thing. It looks very good. It's really wacky. I like Panic on Funkotron a lot, so I'm glad to see that there. I know nothing about Wolf of the Battlefield Mercs, so I'll have to actually just give that a try. It looks like a pretty early Genesis game, just judging by its box art. So, yeah, why not? I'm glad to see this. There are still some other Genesis games sort of missing here. I mean, we could do Vector Man 2 now, for instance, now that we've got that. Yeah, I'm glad that we have this, because for a while it was like, oh, no more Genesis games on NSO. That also killed any hope of ever getting other Sega consoles on NSO, like Master System, or heaven forbid we dare to hope Saturn. So yeah, seeing this, that's neat. Whatever was the roadblock there, maybe it was just they weren't doing it. But yeah, it's happening again. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's like you never know, like when which side of the negotiating table is responsible for the roadblock, or maybe not even a roadblock, just the lack of conversation. Maybe it's Nintendo loses interest, maybe Sega loses interest, maybe both. And so it's like they probably have to just be in like the right orbit for both of the companies to care at the same time and have people who would push these things through to get more games there. But the fact that this has happened is a sign of life, and maybe more can happen in the future. I would be happy with more Genesis games. I think if they can, they don't even like have any like Sega CD stuff on there. I guess that would be.
They don't have Sega CD. They don't have 32X. No.
I guess Sega CD games might be a little bit big for something like a Nintendo Switch Online service, but they're not really. So yeah, I mean, I would be very excited if they continue to do this, and getting 3 games in one drop says to me like maybe there is more to come.
Last little thing here, Brain Age is now available on Nintendo Music. I don't know much about Brain Age's soundtrack, Jeff, but there it is.
Yeah, I remember the music being like pretty okay. I liked all those DS era games and their soundtracks, but it's not one I was like, oh man, we got to get Brain Age for sure.
Yeah, I think when we asked people what Nintendo soundtrack do you want put on Nintendo Music,
Brain Age was only the number 2 response. Yeah,
yeah, right,
yeah.
Exactly.
There's a Brain Age for the Switch that never came out in North America. I think about that a lot.
Oh, weird. Okay. All right, then. So there you go. That's the news. Why don't we take a little break, Jeff, and we got some super chats to get to.
Sounds good.
All right. Break.
Okie dokie.
What you want to do?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Yep, let's get to it.
All right. We're going to do topic, don't we?
Yeah, we'll do a topic after this. Yep.
After. All right. We're going to do
we'll
super
chats, then a break.
Then break, then topic. All right.
Yeah. And we're back, Jeff. Please read the super chats.
Yeah, let's go here with Shiamiro, who writes, Dear Disney Dogs, my brother said he mailed Jeff his microphone Pikmin. Here they are. In exchange for a signed photo of Mike Minotti, but is too shy to remind you. So I will bother instead. Also, sorry to Mike for not getting you anything. That's fair.
Wow, you never brought this up to me.
I definitely brought it up to you, and you're like, isn't it funny that they want a signed picture of me and not you? And I'm like, oh, that hurt my feelings, Mike. Thanks.
That sounds right.
And I was like, but I'm like, okay, no, I got to remember to do that. And then, of course, I completely forgot.
Let's remember to do that when I'm... Because, we'll usually do a Game of the Year in person at some point.
Well, I'm going to see you in 2 weeks, so I might try to get it done then.
Oh, is that also?
Yep.
Right.
Like in no time at all. We're going to be like by the 10th, I should be seeing you, or soon after that. So I might try to get a glossy photo of Mike Minotti prepped for you to sign, and then I'll get that sent. Shiamiro, can you, or your brother... send me like the details of like addresses where I can send this stuff. So just like get in Discord and hit me there or something, or my DMs on Blue Sky, I suppose.
Because of Pickle Giraffe, I now picture Christian as a yellow Pikmin. Yeah, I like that.
That's very good. Christian, you saw that, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like it.
It's very good.
I know I'm doing it. I don't know. That fit really well.
It fit really weirdly well. That's our little yellow Pikmin right there.
I love it.
It's my personality. I like it. Thank you.
Wes Dieterich writes, show pitch. Okay. I don't want to admit why I can't read this, but I think it's Dis Astro artist. Make Dan play through Astrobot under increasingly precarious conditions. I like that. The monitor crosshair that I put on my monitor for Call of Duty got in the way of the word Astro, so I couldn't read it.
You still have that shit
I know.
on?
It's like kind of a hassle to turn it off. So I was like, we'll be playing Call of Duty again here pretty soon. Look, it's just like
it doesn't work.
Hey, put a little Sharpie on there. It helps me. I don't know what to tell you, man. Yeah, so I like this idea. That's fun. Something along those lines. Mostly just punishing Dan. Sounds like a good idea to me. So maybe we can make that happen.
Apparently, he's going to be punished harshly somehow if he doesn't get his Blight Club game started by the new year or something.
It was like the second week in January, right? So
is that why he so desperately scheduled a Blight Club on Monday? And then 5 minutes before it was about to start, I was told and had to be like, I can't do that.
I legit think so, yes. I was there, Mike, I was just as surprised as you. So, and he's not, we know Dan, right? Not so much like Johnny on the spot of like, we got to get this done. Now he's a little bit more that way with Blight Club than other stuff. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. But then I saw like the Reddit thread about like the new Never Been a Better podcast and how Alex threatened him. So
I was so confused. He just like, you guys good for Blight Club in 5 minutes? I'm like, no.
What are you talking about? It's like, Monday.
They had already like gone live or something. It's like, no. He's like, oh, if you're not, I better tell Lucy now. She's putting the suit on. I'm like, yeah, tell Lucy.
Well, we'll get back to doing that next week, everybody. Well, will we? Yes. Next week will be fun. All right. From Stinky. Woof woof dogs. Mitch, you need to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Don't let Tam down.
Yes, I would never want to let my best friend down. No. Yeah, that's the only time it's ever happened. Yeah, I do want to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender. Seems like people like it a lot. I bet that it'll scratch a similar itch as Steven Universe did for me, right? Sure, yeah. So, yeah. I want to watch 100%. That. I want to get to Gravity Falls at some point too.
Oh yeah, I watched
Disney. People like
yeah,
that.
It's pretty good. I watched like the first season of that show back in the day with my sister, and I was enjoying it. I was just using her as an excuse to watch the kids show. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, let me know if you actually do start Avatar. I've never watched it all the way through. We could like book club it or something.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, because that'll work because they call the seasons books.
There you go.
Great.
From El Grug, what's after Days Sean? Until Sean? Horizon Zero Sean? Sean Rush Cyberpunk? Forza Horizon?
Keep going. Yeah,
Shankai Star Rail?
Yeah. I'll do that.
Bishan Two Souls?
Yeah.
I'll stop. That's from El
Look,
Grug.
I put up enough. I deserve Horizon Zero Sean on that website, all right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just gonna go rogue and do it without you guys.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm
I
okay
can't
with that.
stop you.
Yeah,
that's true. I have the stream key. What are they gonna do?
You have the stream key.
Just do it. From Power Glover. Boof boof dogs. As someone who gets asked if his parents named him after a video game peripheral, if you could be named after one, what would it be and what would you name it? What would you name it? Include your name. All right. If you could be named after one, what would it be?
Well, I just want to be called the Wii Fit Balance Board.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, in our personal lives, that is what I call you. So
yeah, I'm the Wii Balance Board.
Yeah,
that's what I am.
The Wii Mitch Balance Board. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Or We Speak. I like We Speak.
We Speak.
Yeah. God. The quality on that had to... I never actually talked to anybody using We Speak because I'm not a monster. The quality on that thing sitting on top of your TV could not have been good.
Yeah, I bet it was surprisingly good for what it was, but still complete shit. Like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll go Vitality Sensor. Yeah, you can just call me I'll Vitality Sensor. I'll just hold your hand and tell you how you feel. I don't really like include your name and what would you name it. I don't know how to do that. I don't know what he's asking for.
I'll just go. I don't know what he means by that, but we'll just go with we'll just assume we're named after peripherals.
I said it. I said it with Mitch Balance.
You think he wants me to do that? No, I don't want that. I just want to be called the Wii Balance Board, like Power Glover. I want my old name to be dead.
Sure. Johnny Boy says, any movie plans this holiday? Saw Wicked and really liked it. Got tickets for both Moana and Gladiator.
Yeah, I should see Wicked. Everybody really
I would like
likes
to see
it.
Wicked.
I am obligated to see Moana 2.
I'll take
I want to go
Moana 2, yeah.
Well, I want to go with like my brothers at some point because I'm assuming they're taking their kids. Chris is going tomorrow he's like, I'm taking Moana, taking the kids to see Moana 2 tomorrow at 8:05 a.m. I'm like, do they start movies that early?
I think I saw The Phantom Menace at 9 a.m. The day it came out after the midnight showings because I didn't understand how to buy the midnight tickets. So because I put in like the wrong date or something. So I got 9 a.m. tickets for us. And I was like a teenager. And yeah, I got to skip school to go watch it because my parents understood how important it was. But that was like the earliest showing they had that day, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
8:05 a.m.?
It's a lot. I mean, but I don't mind seeing movies on opening day, but that early for a big kids movie, I'm like, man, there's going to be a lot of kids there. And even like, they're taking my 2-year-old niece. It's going to be her first movie. I'm like, that's cute. I bet also it might be a pain. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to go with them. Maybe I could see it sometime this weekend. I also have some friends coming into town that want to see.
What do you mean you think you're not? There's no way you're getting up at 8:05 a.m. to watch Moana 2, Mike. I can tell you that. There's no way.
Maybe for some reason, I will like sleep poorly or something, and I'll just
be up anyway. Okay, all right, maybe.
Like, I guess I'm coming. Probably not. You're correct, Jeff. It's incredibly unlikely that's going to happen. But yeah, some friends want to see Gladiator 2, which I probably wouldn't seek out on my own. But if people are in town and want to go see it, sure.
Right, I would.
See Gladiator
that's 2. that kind of movie. So that means for me these days, there's no chance I'm going to see Gladiator 2 in the theaters, and maybe one day I'll watch it when it comes home. One of the things I miss about Alamo Drafthouse is they had the kids showing like specific times in the day where it's like, if a baby's crying in this movie and you complain, you're actually in the wrong because that's what this showing is. Like parents can bring their babies and they'll sit there. We keep the lights up a little bit. We turn down the volume a little bit, and this is just for families. And it's like that was so nice to just have that permission to like come to a 5-6 p.m. showing, bring the kids, not feel bad about them being loud. Because even in one where it's like, oh, this is a kids movie and it's during the day, I would still feel bad if the kids were being rambunctious. Although these days, they were so good at Disney. I'm like, man, they should be able to handle movies. So I'll take them to Moana 2. We'll have a good time. They've been good at theaters recently.
Yeah, everybody seems to think Moana 2 is okay. So what? Better than I could have hoped for.
Yeah,
to be
honestly,
honest.
that's like shooting above what my expectations for that. So cool.
I bet I'll make $1 zillion. So
yeah. Digital Firefly. Jeff, did you build a lightsaber at Savi's workshop in Disney? I did not. We did take the girls to build droids, and boy, were they excited. Holy crap, that was like, that made their day there. First, they were like, they saw people having the droids and like, can we get one of those? And I'm like, well, they actually made them. I'm like, wait, can we make them? And I'm like, yeah, you're going to make them later. And they're just like, that's all they could talk about. Emmy was like, okay, now wait. Am I going to have to like get the screws out and screw everything together? Or is it like you pick the legs and you pick the arms? I'm like, Emmy, you're already thinking like an Imagineer. That's how it works. Yes, they made it very simple. She's like, shoo, okay, good. I feel good about that. Like she was like really overthinking it. And then she got in there and they both just picked their parts and they were so excited and they got to use the little tool to actually kind of connect the legs to stuff. And then as soon as we got done building them, the people told us there was a little pad across the street. You go take it to them and roll it around. They spent like 30 minutes just playing with them. So that was a very good time. I really enjoyed that. But maybe one day I would go back and do the lightsaber, but I don't know. I was very happy with the droid experience.
I've been in the lightsaber experience. You can take one guess when you do it. So I saw AJ do it. I haven't built my own yet. I built a droid. I think I like the droid thing better, right?
Yep.
They're both cool. The droid thing is cheaper though, like significantly more so, and it's almost neater in some ways. So yeah, I think the droid thing is great. What was it a little weird being in? So because you've been to Galaxy's Edge and Disneyland, and the Florida one is exactly the same.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah, there's like one difference in that. There's like one less exit entrance area, but otherwise like that, yeah, they really kind of control C, control V that thing.
Yeah, I mean that is a little strange, but when you get the family and the young kids, it's like useful because now I know where everything is. And then I turn the corner and I see that awesome goddamn droid roasting the tip yips on the podcast engine. I'm like, I love this guy, and I just like felt very at home and very happy.
Awesome.
All right, let's see here. Cody Bishop just drove 6 hours to my sister's for Thanksgiving. I'm tired and my backside hurts. Anyway, have a happy and blessed holiday to you and yours. Yeah, I expect a lot of people are listening to this while traveling or are going to listen to this like on Black Friday when they're out shopping with their family or something like that. So yeah, I hope everyone is having a safe holidays, and it's going to be crazy out there for travel. So please be careful.
Yep, absolutely. Hope you all have a safe holiday if you are traveling or just, enjoying any kind of holiday this week. I know I'm excited. I like Thanksgiving, and, I just like the holidays in general, Jeff. Put my Christmas tree up just yesterday, like I said, and that was great. What did I watched Mickey's Christmas Carol, and then Night Before Christmas, and then my brothers came over because we were recording the new 90s Disney about that obscure direct-to-video Beauty and the Beast Christmas special. So I watched that also. So yeah, I got really in the mood yesterday. I'm all holidayed up.
Yeah, that was the big thing about being at Disney World. Like when the Christmas stuff was up, it was Christmas music everywhere, Christmas decorations everywhere. The one night was the Christmas party, so we got the Snope, and it was beautiful. And they did the Christmas fireworks where they didn't mash up. It was they did a reprise of Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas Time right after playing the whole song of that the characters from Frozen sing in the Frozen Christmas special. And it's like, man, It was just really well done. And yeah, so I came home super in the mood for Christmas. And as I think we've mentioned this before on this show or somewhere else, that Thanksgiving for me is part of that, and I get really, really excited about it. So looking forward to it. I went and got my food tonight, got the turkey, not frozen, so ready to go.
You did that Jollywood Nights at Hollywood Studios too, and
no, we ended up not doing that one. Mostly on the recommendation of a lot of people who were like, that's not exactly something that kids will get a lot out of.
Sure.
And we had a lot of late nights. That Christmas party one we had Ohana at like 8 a.m. that day, and then we had the Christmas party going till 11 p.m. that night. So that was a super long day. We didn't want to do another one of those. So although at this point it's like I think the kids actually would have been really excited about Jollywood Nights. And
yeah, but there's next time.
Yeah, there's next time, exactly. One thing about it is everyone's like, hey, the Christmas party, they kick a bunch of people out, it'll be less busy. And boy, I think we did an excellent job at picking our times because it was not very busy during the day. So the Christmas party actually felt busier. And then we saw both Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom, where we hopped from one park to the other on Saturday, and it was so much busier because all of the people had traveled for Thanksgiving already and were like with family and like, let's go to Disney World. And it was a completely different experience. It was so packed at that point. So it's like, hey, we had a good week and picked a good time to go.
You did do Muppet Vision 3D, right? Which
I did.
Yeah, good thing because going away soon. Apparently.
I did it, and then the next day it got announced that they're going to get rid of it.
So all the drama about getting rid of it aside, you're a Muppet fan. What did you think of it?
I loved it. It was awesome. It's so good. We were we sat up front so Emmy could see real well, and when Sweetums came out, I'm like, oh my god, I didn't know Sweetums was going to be right there. That's incredible. It's I love all the bits of the like in-room effects of the characters, getting shot into the wall or whatever, or the Swedish Chef like getting a cannon out, and Statler and Waldorf, all their jokes. One of
the best things to do if you've like done that thing a bunch is just watch Statler and Waldorf the whole time because they react to everything. It turns out Muppets make for great animatronics.
Yeah, turns out
Muppets and Star Wars droids, they're good to go. They're gonna look perfect.
Exactly. So I was definitely pretty bummed out. Because we did eventually go back to Hollywood Studios, and I'm like looking around, like, this is such a cool place.
It's cool.
Pizza Rizzo right across the street, and all this stuff. And the shop was closed already.
That shop's been kind of like seasonally closed for a while.
Yeah,
now.
So it was like a bummer. I'm like, man, I would have loved to have a Muppet like stuff because I was like, yeah, that's definitely some merch I was gonna get. I wasn't buying a lot of stuff for myself, so I was looking forward to that, and it was closed. So yeah, it was just like kind of a bummer. But I think, like putting the Muppets into Rock and Roller Coaster sounds like a really good idea.
Well, unless you don't ride Rock and Roller Coaster, because so that's
for sure.
It is a bit of an admission of like, hey, we see the Muppets as a thing for millennials and boomers, not so much for kids who don't care about doing this anyways. Which is weird because they had that Muppet Babies and it was popular, and they somehow didn't turn that into momentum.
Yep, and man, it was that Muppet Baby show is incredible. It's definitely the show that it's like in the top 3 of my favorite shows that my kids watch, and that's the one that they both agree on. So, yep.
All right, Jeff, why don't we take another break? We got a topic here. We asked everybody what do they want to see Nintendo announce at the Game Awards. So let's talk about that.
Sounds good.
All right, break. You want to do
We'll
something?
take Penny out.
All right, chefs, you want to set up that, or are you gonna do something?
Yeah, is there?
It looked like you
thread,
were
right?
going to stand up. Yeah.
No, I'm just doing my whole thing.
Stand up.
Okay.
Come on, do it.
All right, here we go.
It's good for you. Stretch a little bit, stretch a little bit, turn a little bit, rotate the waist a little bit. There you go.
Right,
oh, not what I was expecting, but all right.
Yeah,
not bad, not bad.
don't give that for free.
Yeah, a little cake for the audience. All right. All right.
Oh, yeah, you got to take a look at the holiday hams right there, everybody. Yeah.
Don't you feel better now?
No.
Absolutely.
Well, that's because you're older,
do.
so that checks out.
Tell you what,
Gotcha.
man, my dogs were barking at Disney for sure. I got the Hoka shoes, and I think that's the only reason I did survive, because it was like the pain was not necessarily in my feet, but all of the muscles surrounding my feet, like just that I needed to use to support holding myself up. And God, 5 and 7 girls, we got a stroller. We never would have been able to do this thing with a double stroller, and they fit in there just fine. But then we'd get in a line where you can't have the stroller, and they're just like, carry me. Like, guys, come on.
Oh my God.
Seriously.
Don't you know how old I am?
Yeah, and I was like, you've been sitting down all day. I've been pushing you around. Just stand up for 10 minutes. This line's 10 minutes. Come on, but no.
Wait, the 7-year-old tells you to
Especially the 7-year-old.
That's crazy.
Now,
she's used to it and I want to lose it. That's how that works.
and she's like, also, honestly, I think the 5-year-old might weigh more than her, because the 7-year-old's like a little feather. But still, it was like, she's like, oh, carry me. I'm so lazy. A little bastard. All right, let's see here. Discord in Opera.
And Opera GX, baby.
Gamer browser.
The gamer browser.
Yep. I don't know if we ever told a story like Jan was going to go to Stonehenge for the gamer browser. He had to cancel the trip at the last minute, but he almost went to Stonehenge.
Yeah, we never told that story.
Yeah, for the gamer browser. They invited me, and I'm like, I'm busy that week, but Jan, you want to go? And he's like,
my God, missed opportunity. Such a huge.
Yeah, and then Jan's world started to crumble.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor guy.
Yep. Let's see here. Podcast threads. There we go.
You got it?
I have it, but I know I just got to put it into OBS. Let's see here.
Put it onto OBS.
There's that.
Oh, Mike is back.
All right. I think
Listen, I promise you, Chad. There won't be more Disney talk.
Well, we cannot guarantee
Mike's
that.
on this podcast. I wouldn't promise that.
Michael Leary.
Never talking about Disney again.
I was at Port Orleans Riverside. Yes.
No, you were at French Quarter.
No, I was at Riverside, and I would walk to French Quarter for the beignets. It was not bad.
You were.
Not a bad walk. I'll tell you what, that was very convenient for Disney Springs. The boat to Disney Springs, very, very easy.
Very pretty ride along the Sassagoula River there too.
Oh God, that me and Steph would nonstop like getting down to the Sassagoula, watching out for that gator water.
There's a lot of lore about that resort. We did in our episode about Riverside. So.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I listened. I think I did listen.
How big is that place? Like, do you have to walk?
What?
Like, how big and
the resort I was at, if you count this, because it's the Port Orleans is both Riverside and French Quarter. It's apparently the biggest complex of a resort, like with like more than 3,000 rooms or something like that. So it's pretty big.
Yeah, they're like sister resorts. French Quarter used to be called Dixie Landings, and then they changed the name.
Wow, cowards.
Yep.
They went
cowards.
Okay.
Right.
I think I am set up to show the Discord thread when we start this.
Same.
All right. Let's go back into it then.
All right, Jeff, we're back. I asked everybody, including you right now, what would you like to see Nintendo announce at the Game Awards? Maybe keeping your expectations in check.
Yeah, I mean, God, wouldn't it be nice if this is just where they said, and the Zelda remasters, the HD remasters are here and they're happening. They're out now. That would be awesome. I don't know. It's tough. I think that personally, it's a go-to for me, but it's something I would want to see. Anything like in the Excite series, something like that. Excite, bots, Excite bike, Excite trucks. Was that one of them? Yeah, I think anything like that would be fun for me personally, just to like show like, hey, yeah, we're even bringing back stuff like this. I think the last one they did was on the Wii. So yeah, I something along those lines. Of course, I would be happy with like a new 1080, new wave race. I just don't think those are in the cards anytime soon. And I don't think we get anything bigger than something like that. So yeah, keep things in check. I think something with just that Excite font, I would be very excited by. Even that though feels like maybe that's asking too much. And if they announce something, it would be like a new feature for Nintendo Switch Online or something like that. I don't know.
I am really hoping it is Metroid Prime 2 Remaster. I've been wanting to play that pretty badly for a bit, and I just have been waiting because I'm pretty sure this is going to come out eventually for the Switch, but I would like to have it now. That is one of the games I'm kind of the most ashamed I have not played through all the way, for as much as like Metroid Prime 1. And I don't think Metroid Prime 2 is quite as good, but it's not that far off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just very anxious to finally play through that. And 3, which I assume we get 2, we'll get 3 shortly thereafter. I mean, I'm not expecting Metroid Prime 4 until later in the year, like late summer at the earliest, so plenty of time to space those out.
Yeah, and it's, for as much as I adore Metroid Prime and the way it worked, it's like I recommend it to people, but say, hey, just give yourself 5 minutes to get used to the controls, because I do think anyone would get used to the controls in about 5 minutes. But also having the option to not have to get used to anything is really nice, and it turns out those games play exceptionally well with just dual analog controls. So just having that put into a package in an official way, and not me being like, okay, now there's an emulator called Prime Hacks, and you go that and you can use a mouse and keyboard, and it's really fucking cool. It's like people tune out very quickly when I start talking that way. So just being like, no, it's on the eShop, go play it on your Switch, and it's going to play like a game. It's going to play like you expect a first-person shooter to play. That's, very, very something I want deeply.
All right, Jeff, let's see what the community had to say about this.
Absolutely. We got a Discord thread right here for everybody.
Yeah. First off, Evo Janice says, nothing. Nintendo doesn't need the TGAs. Well, all right, Evo Janice, if you weren't even going to play along.
I think we know they don't need any of this. Nintendo, like, unlike a lot of other companies, no one can speak to their audience in the way Nintendo does. But 90 million people end up watching the Game Awards in one way or another. It's an audience that is hard to ignore. So if you have something that you're trying to like promote in one way, why not just go to the Game Awards? So I hope they show up personally. I really do hope they have something.
Lanny Cool Dick Denver says, instead of doing another Zelda blowout joke, maybe more Yakuza could come to the Switch. Yakuza 0 should be able to run fine if Kiwami works, and 0 is much better, in my opinion. This box art here has a new Ichiban mode. That's exciting. That
would be incredible. New Ichiban mode. Yeah. Actually, it'd be better if it was just actually new funky mode in Yakuza. This I think Yakuza 0 feels like something that is going to happen on the Switch.
That's another game that's pretty high on my to-do list. People always say that, hey, this is maybe the best Yakuza. This is the one that you should play. So I want to get to it eventually. Villain Mac, it says Chris Pratt saying it's a me Mario. We have gotten Mario movie stuff at the Game Awards before, so I don't think they're quite ready to show something from the second Mario Brothers movie. The second
Mario Brothers movie is 2026, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you see that trailer for Shadow of Shadow in Sonic 3, by the way, in the new trailer?
I've not seen it yet, no.
They did give him a gun. He has a gun. It's incredible.
They're just
I'm kind of excited.
They're just cooking over there, and everyone's letting them.
The fact that like this all was almost a disaster with that original Sonic design, and then they turned that around and made $1 billion because of it, because they were bullied into making $1 billion.
But yeah, they were bullied into making a lot more money than they would have made otherwise. It's just a very much a sliding door situation, and they just happened to get pushed into the right sliding door.
Tommy Petzel says, these nuts. Matthias Gift the God says, the game by Nintendo's mainline 3D Mario team. Of course, this says Donkey Kong, the movie here. Gosh, it is wild that, like, within the next 6 months, they're probably going to announce a new Mario game. Probably not the Game Awards, right? But gosh, I just can't even imagine how I'm going to feel when that finally happens.
Yeah, it's you're right. That is a very strange thing to think about. It's like we are going to be made aware of whatever that team is working on here very soon.
Chuck Chaos Buckaroo says, please continue the trend of unexpected games coming out of left field with Endless Ocean Luminous and Another Code Recollection as examples. Boy, that Endless Ocean game came out this year, huh?
Yeah, I was definitely curious about it because it has like some like 16 or 32 player mode, but I'm like, on what planet would I ever be able to get 32 other humans to play Endless Ocean Luminous with me? That's never, ever going to happen. Even with this job that gives me all the advantages in the world where maybe we can ask for codes, never going to happen.
Dr. Lynch says, I was catching up on some old episodes just yesterday, and the boys talked a couple months ago about how cool it would be to get a return of one of the lesser Nintendo games in a slightly different genre, including something like Wave Race 1080 or Excite Bike.
Yeah.
Something smaller with a new spin would be great. I sure do hope that we get some of these racing franchises back in one way or another.
Yeah, I wonder if Nintendo like looks over at like Cruisin' Blast doing maybe a little bit better than they expected and be like, hey, maybe we could do more in the arcade fun racing space. I get why they're afraid of it because it's like it's hard to make one of those games and make it feel like it's worth $60, right? Because how do you put in extra modes and all this extra stuff? And I'm like, I don't know, just put it out. The games on N64 were here's a race mode, here's a trick mode, and here's some difficulty levels. And
yeah, but they did that with the new Mario Strikers, and me and you were fine with it, and people were furious.
Everyone else
right?
couldn't handle it. Yeah,
we were kind of like, but the game's here. You get to play Mario Strikers. That's fun. And yeah, people are not good enough.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the content.
I agree with you, but I guess we're not in that world anymore.
Yeah, it's a bummer. You're right, though.
Jamie H1224 says a boy can dream right, and it's Doug Bowser showing off the Switch 2 at Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. I'm not expecting that, but that means that, hey, maybe it's going to happen.
Right. That feels like we might be underselling. Like, what if they actually end up just teasing it there? Why not?
The Astro Wolf 5 says, get Mike Tyson on stage to reveal it. There's Punch Out. Gosh, someday. Is Tyson stock down a little bit after the quote-unquote fight?
Yeah, and Nintendo's never going to work with Mike Tyson again, so that would never happen. But a new Punch-Out would be awesome. Next level is almost certainly like in the planning stages, at least for a new Luigi's Mansion for Switch.
They're probably. I bet they're deepish.
That's probably the game that they're making. So it'd be unlikely that they're ready to do a Punch-Out. Because they did in between. They did Mario Strikers, so they already did a game in between. It's unlikely that they went back to Punch-Out. I bring them up because they did Punch-Out for the Wii, and God, that game's incredible. Honestly, just put that on Switch. would rule. That would be the kind of game that I would want to get in like the last year of the Switch's life.
Bench JC says, give us Kid Icarus Switch. This is something that we thought we were going to get, a port of that 3DS game, Uprising. And then we know that like Bandai Namco canceled a Switch game recently.
Canceled a Switch port, yeah.
It's like, was it that? And like maybe it was.
Probably that, yeah.
Yeah, so kind of a bummer because I was looking forward to that.
That would have been, I think that's the kind of game that really does need to get, so not like rescued from the 3DS, so to speak, but definitely put in a position where you can play it in a much more easier way. And like even more so than like the controls of Metroid Prime, where it's like, no, you'll get used to that. This is like, this is a hard game to make work on other stuff.
It is like one of the most important 3DS games to kind of like, get quote unquote off that system in one way or another.
Yeah, I still want them to figure that out, but who knows? Maybe they will still.
Joy Z says Switch Pro. That'd be funny.
That would rule. Time. That would be incredible. I kind of want to see it.
Input name here says Diddy Kong Racing coming to the Nintendo Music app. That's right. Maybe. Ooh. So yeah, God, all these Donkey Kong games we're getting, we still don't have Diddy Kong Racing or Donkey Kong 64.
That's right.
On NSO, and I would love to see both of those.
Yeah, and it's like one of the reasons I brought up the fact that Donkey Kong Land's made by Rare is like these other Rare Donkey Kong games, which Nintendo has full control over, are coming. So yeah, maybe they're leading up to those games because they consider them to be bigger. But I would rather play Donkey Kong Land than Donkey Kong 64, personally.
I'm kind of feeling a sickness for it. I kind of want to play some Donkey Kong 64. I don't know why.
Honestly, you keep doing that. Eventually, we'll just make you play it on Giant Bomb and actually have to play through it 100%. And then you'll be cured of that sickness at that point, I believe.
Okay, I think we should do it. I think it'd be fun.
All right.
Flight Populator 2024 says Nintendo, knowing that Jeff check cleared so Power World couldn't get nominated, can finally debut more footage of Pokemon Legend ZA as their competition withers away. For legal reasons, this is obviously a joke, even though Power World probably should have had at least one nomination. Gosh, Pokemon Legends ZA. We are going to hear something about that at some point, right?
Yeah, but that one feels like especially not going to happen, right? Because it's like that's both Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, and I don't know. They really do just like. I mean, honestly, Pokemon's like we're barely even going to put our stuff in Nintendo Directs. We're going to just have Pokemon Directs now. So
yeah, that's true.
Just do their own thing.
Jim says Hades 2 for Switch.
Now that feels like something that could happen.
Right. Well, they could announce like a date for the like
1.0
release of Hades,
which
2,
would be a Switch release.
Amazing.
Yeah, that would be a Switch release because that's how it worked the first time. The Hades 1 went 1.0 and went to Switch first, and that was a huge success on that platform. So I could easily see that happening.
Always Be Clothing says an encore performance of Wii Music and the announcement of the Switch 2 music with a GIF of that guy, the most 2008 looking man ever. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
God, they would never.
Yep, definitely not. But I would like it. Get Flute Guy to play with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Jungle Jape says Chris Pratt in Smash. Like, it's not impossible that they do something weird like in the next Smash Brothers and make movie Mario a playable character.
Right. It's maybe like one of the costumes that you could put on the character, one of the alternate skins or something like that. But yeah.
I Beat It Again says, I think dropping an official name for the next system is enough to muster up some talk for them. There's no way it's just Switch 2. I think there's a very good way. It's just Switch 2, personally. But I don't know. I'm just not expecting anything about the next Switch at the Game Awards.
Yep, same.
Bayleaf Moon has Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Remastered. I think Echoes is the coolest of all the subtitles that the other Prime games got.
Yeah.
Right?
I like Echoes. Yeah.
It's cool.
It's better than Beyond, for sure. I don't mind
Better than Beyond, better than Corruption. Those aren't bad. They're not bad.
But Echoes is the best.
Yep. Alex Agogo says Metroid Dreads, and I think Ridley Scott or whoever, or James Cameron, whoever, got the line through the S to turn it into the money symbol. That's good. Yeah, I mean, look, I am expecting at some point here, probably when we're on the other side of all this Metroid Prime 4 stuff, to get another 2D Metroid game from Mercury Steam, and I am going to be very excited for that.
Yep, me too. Just thinking about like, oh my God, a full 2D Metroid sequel to Dread on top of getting Dread, man. That would be awesome.
Should play Dread again.
I should play Dread again. Yeah.
I've been thinking about that and Metroid Prime 1. I have so many other things I need to be playing.
I know.
But it's like, I could be good just playing Metroid games forever.
Yep. I might find some time for Dread over the holidays or something. I don't know.
Resident Evil Cryorsis says, hey, look, it's Reggie on stage. God, I still miss Reggie, and it's kind of wild how we all still miss Reggie. How he's been gone pretty much this entire generation now. Yeah,
that's right. You know, the life cycle of an executive in the video game industry is about as long as Reggie was there. Like 10 years, a little bit more than that.
Probably, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it was actually a little bit more than that. Yeah, 15 years. So he was there.
These are in the GameCube era.
Yeah,
right?
So he was around for quite some time. But yeah, I definitely associate him very much with the leadership team of Nintendo, even though that's just not been the case for a long time now.
Yeah, and B has it's just a GIF of those puppets from the 1E3. So you got Reggie, you got Iwata, you got Miyamoto. Yeah, that was been. It's funny how like even though they're in a kind of bad place with the Wii U, they're very good at their presentations at that time. They were having a lot of fun.
They were still dropping megatons. Yep.
Slain says a new game starring everyone's favorite Zelda character. It's Tingle. So there you go.
They should announce a dual pack that has Rosie's Tingle's Rosie Rupee Land and then the dating sim that I can never remember the name of.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I would like to play those in an official capacity for sure. Turkey Blue says anything involving Star Fox. We are getting to a point now where Star Fox Zero was so long ago that like whatever kind of wound that was a Nintendo has healed up by now, and they got to be thinking about doing something with Star Fox again.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably still at a point where they're like, let's do some stuff with some other franchises first before we circle back to Star Fox. But maybe they are beginning that circling back process.
2016. Almost 10 years.
10 years.
Almost 10 years, jeez. Blanda Bear says, I know a while back that Nintendo bought the IP rights to Astral Chain. I'd like to see the sequel announced because I liked a detective game where you beat up aliens with your prisoner Pokemon. I don't know if I ever expect to see another Astral Chain, but maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Definitely not on Switch. It would be like a Switch 2. That's the kind of thing where they do one of those per generation if they do more of those at all.
That Strobot says F-Zero, which something I really do hope we see kind of early on in the Switch 2 life cycle. I don't think it gets announced before a Switch 2. I don't think they're going to do something on the Switch 1 with F-Zero, right? But
right.
Gosh,
we should play more F-Zero 99 as well. It's
yeah.
I love that game. That's might
good.
Still make my top 10 this year.
Was that this year?
I think so. Was it
Man.
not? Maybe it was. Maybe it was last year.
Maybe it was last year. Now I have to look.
Yeah, I'm not good at time.
Adam JC says New Wave Race, which
Last
some
year,
more things.
September.
Yeah, this is last year,
Okay,
September.
last September. Okay, that makes sense. I probably did put on my top 10 then.
So New Wave Race, I would like. Dr. Ryan says a trophy system for the Switch 2. I need it. Oh yeah, Dr. Ryan definitely needs a trophy system. Bikes and Bruce says Grubb and Tokoto are released from Nintendo jail.
Maybe one day. We'll see.
I'm enough out of Nintendo jail for my own taste these days.
Yeah,
you know?
honestly, same. Where it's like they invite us to preview events. Dan got to go to the Nintendo Museum opening. It was behalf of another thing. But
the one thing I don't get is early review codes, and in some way I'm like, oh, so I don't have to work.
Exactly right. And I'm like, I'll just buy my own games. I've always been okay with that. So whatever.
Well, I even get codes. It's just on release day.
Yeah, sure.
So
Yeah. Yes, right. It's always they'll send the codes like the night of release, so it's like it's actually been out for 24 hours, and I'm like, I don't want to wait, so I always end up just buying.
Darachi says Metroid Prime 2 remastered. Johnny Boy says Mother 3 and maybe even Mother 4. If they do make a Mother 4 some way somehow, at that point you think they would figure out how to get Mother 3 out here finally.
Yes, I that always to me feels like if they were ever to announce, a new Earthbound, new Mother, it would be a huge announcement. I think it would be like an explosive announcement for them, and I wonder if they actually ever pull that trigger.
Heyman of Texas says Mario Hockey. That would be fun.
Yeah, I still like the Mario sports games. I know a lot of people have a lot of problems with them this generation, but I just don't feel that way.
And I'm Asleep says Metroid Prime Federation Broforce. Imagine if they remastered Federation Force, which is like a game I always want to play somehow, but it's kind of hard to turn that. I would only do it as content.
Yes,
it's kind of hard
exactly.
to do that with a 3DS, right?
Yep, definitely. I think I looked into is there a way for us to do that in a way that would be easy to stream it? And it's like, this is actually kind of complicated.
Oh, I know how to do it. Hang on. We can do this as content. 3 of us plus Dan, we can do this.
Yeah, well, so I know, but like,
yeah, but how do you? I don't know how to get the 3DS into a capture card.
No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
I know how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, there you go. Future stream. I don't know when, but we'll do it.
I definitely looked
All
into
right.
this, so let's make it happen.
All right.
Yeah.
Can we maybe get
someone other than Dan?
Jan's got
Jan Choa is a real just chum, real nice feller. Works
Zool
good.
34 says Doug Bowser playing Silk Song on the roof, please. Yeah, look at we got Doug Bowser as Eve or God. I think that's Eve actually. He's touching the finger of God, aka Spoon Heaven in this case. Hey, I mean, as good a place for it to show up as anything in a long time. Do you think we see Hollow Knight Silk Song at the Game Awards?
God, who knows at this point? I think it's safe to just say no, so that when it happens, everyone can just be happy because there's been so many shows where it made sense for it to show up and it didn't. Yeah, so I'm gonna say no.
I've already done my screw it. I think it's happening this time for real thing, and it didn't happen, so I don't get to say anything now.
Right, exactly. It's all over.
JT60564 says Dark Souls 3 port. Yeah, gosh, I wonder if we're gonna see Dark Souls ports to maybe the Switch 2 at least when that happens.
Yes, Dark Souls 3 is not on Switch. Is it just
No,
Dark Souls 1?
One remastered is all I think.
Okay, fair enough.
And then Turbo Sean has Venus Vacation, Dead or Alive Extreme, Crystal. So
There you go.
there you go. What is she holding? Is that supposed to be a gun? It looks like
That's a Gatling gun because that is Star Fox Assault Crystal, the best crystal.
it looks like a pool filter.
You look like a pool filter.
Wow, whoa, okay, whoa, hey, come on, I thought we were friends here. Jeez, wow.
It does.
I put a lot of work into that Photoshop, Mike. You're gonna respect
I was
it.
about to
pretty
ask
good.
you, did you do that? That was pretty
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, it is good, but
Good
it
job.
actually does look like the filter I put into my shop vac in the garage. So I know what you mean. Yeah.
I, for one, am shocked to learn here that they forced Crystal into wearing high heels at all times.
Yeah. Bizarre.
All right.
Okay, hang on. Oh, okay. All right.
All
They're
right.
combat boots, please.
Yeah. While we take one more break here, we'll do some cleanup, super chats, if we've been playing anything, and we'll call it a show.
Yeah.
All right.
Want to be clear?
We're
I
killing it.
almost just hit stop streaming and into the show.
Nice.
That'd be funny.
Yeah,
pretty
that would be
funny.
Consummate professional.
You seem,
Yeah.
you seem tired, Jeff. See, you've been yawning a bit here during a bombcast today. Granted, you were at Disney World for a week.
Yeah, the Disney World definitely wiped me out. I was telling the guys that like I had the stroller. It would have been impossible without the stroller. So
Oh,
if
yeah.
if you ever go to Disney World and you see someone with a stroller, you should be grateful because that place would shut the fuck down if you could not have your kids there on a stroller. You
Guess
would
what?
never
The
be able
number
to
one
support.
complaint of a lot of the Disney adults is
Yes, and
stroller.
that's what I'm saying. It's like I did my best to get out of people's way, but I'm like, you need to understand, this place would not exist if you weren't allowed to have kids in strollers here. It just would not
It's
be
for
possible.
children's. What the? What?
No, it's for
Disney
families.
adults.
It's different.
Get the
It's
fuck out of
different.
the way.
So yeah, I was pushing that around nonstop with two kids there. Not the worst. The worst was definitely then we get in line and they've been sitting all day, and so now they're like, now hold me. I'm like, what? You just stand for 10 minutes, please.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, no.
Yeah.
Just you can stand for.
But then I would pick them up and they would be so excited. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. But now I've got to carry around this 50-pound kid for 5 minutes. Yeah.
I was never good at the holding children thing.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for the?
I'm ready.
Did you play anything Nintendo Wii? Because I haven't really. I don't know if we got anything to talk about there.
Not much. No, not really.
Let's just do the
All right.
super chats then.
Okay.
All right, we're back. Jeff, we got any more super chats?
Yeah, we got a handful more here, I believe. Let's see here. I'm going to go up to there. We go. Chrono Rig writes in, hey, dogs, for the Game Awards, I just want the Switch 2 to be already revealed. I mean, listen, we all want that. I just want to see this thing. I think I visited the Switch 2 subreddit once, and now I constantly get notifications from that subreddit of them like freaking out, like, here's the new theory, it's going to get announced on this day, and here's the reasons why. And they're all mad, and they all know that they're completely insane, so it's kind of fun. But every day there's a new theory about when this thing's going to get announced, and it's like you can only give into so much of that madness, I think. So I think just sit back, and it happens when it happens. You have no control over this. If we get to the Game Awards and there's no peep, don't be surprised. That's probably what's going to happen.
Jeff, I'm
please.
sorry. I gotta say, I'm looking at the tweet about the new Genesis NSO games again, and it shows box art, including the Vectorman box art, which has a sticker on it. Play to win, like $25,000. So of course the tweet has to clarify original packaging shown. Contest has ended.
Oh, God, I love that. Oh, I love that shit.
That's great.
Because that's
great. I'm
something that
sorry.
Nintendo had deep conversations about. Like, okay, how do we clarify?
This is why there was a holdup for 17 months.
Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's always embarrassing when a game like launches it with like a contest to give away money, right? Like, what's the other one you think of, right? Was that Advent Children or Advent Rising?
Children.
Advent
Advent
Rising.
it's a little sad.
Yeah, it's a little sad. Advent Ride, will you get $1 million if you find this thing in there?
At least like give away a thing worth $25. Don't just say here's cash.
Yeah, here's some money to play our game. Yeah.
It's real greasy and crinkled.
Yeah, right. A man in a suit with a bag just hands you a bunch of wadded bills.
Yellow Pikmin?
Yeah.
The Elder Scrolls Online. I remember like play our game, you get $1 million. Like, all right,
cool.
Fucking Elder Scrolls Online.
That's right, Denzel. Here's some money to vote. That's right.
Yeah.
Simon from Saskatchewan. Before listening to you guys, I never wanted to go to Disney parks. Now I do. You guys should be sponsored by them. Also, have you ever played the Home Improvement and Dennis the Menace game for Super Nintendo? I have played the Home Alone game. Never Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, I may have. I was into that movie when it came out.
I was into that movie too, for sure. Maybe we rented Dennis the Menace. I don't remember.
It's funny, the movies that were a big deal when I was a kid that no one really thinks about anymore, like that Dennis the Menace movie.
Yeah, it was pretty huge, yeah.
That was kind of like a big deal, believe it or not. The Casper movie, some people do think about, but that was a very big deal.
The Brady Bunch movie, it's like maybe a notch above that, but it was huge. It was way bigger than its cultural footprint today, yeah.
Yeah. God, even then there was a lot of like, well, because, it was, here's the nostalgia stuff for all the boomers, right? So that stuff was doing huge then, just like
what happened?
Millennial cash grabs
The real thing that happened there was Batman, right? Batman 1989 came out and was a huge cultural event. Massive. Bigger than I think people can even realize today unless they were around then. And Hollywood was like, they want old like comic stuff, but they're like comic strip stuff is what Hollywood, because they didn't understand that people thought that people wanted superheroes. So it's like you're going to get all kinds of weird comic things like it's like related to that. And they did like the Phantom and the Shadow and stuff like that. We got we got Dick Tracy, things like that. It's like,
so we got the Rocketeer. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So they fully misread what was happening there. But we got a bunch of weird big budget movies that actually did end up, many of them did very well. So yeah.
I did also play that Home Improvement game. I think I rented it once because why not?
Same. And I've played it now on emulators a couple of times.
That's what we're playing just for like that. I think the first level is you travel back in time to the age of the dinosaurs and attack them with a nail gun. So come on.
Exactly. It's like, unhinged. My favorite one, I don't know, favorite's the wrong word, but Steph was really into the Bill and Ted's game, so we played it and this is the NES one. And that game it just makes no sense to me. And I watch her play it and she's like, okay, now you need to go over here and like go between these bushes. And it's like, I know in the movie it's like they put the keys there, but how did you know? It's so nondescript. Everything I'm looking at is complete nonsense. But she's like, no, just look, you go over here and you jump on this thing and it works. And I remember just driving me insane. And she's like, no, this is completely normal. So I think about that game quite a bit. So Bill and Ted for NES.
Limited Run did a collection of those old Bill and Ted games you could just buy a physical copy of for Switch.
I should get that for Steph.
I think it has the Lynx game.
Yeah, there we go. The real one.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see anything else. Let me scroll down here. One more. Dibbity Dab says, I've played most 2D Metroids with my 4-year-old, and he loved them. I put in Dread, got to the first Emmy room, and he lost it. Refuses all things Metroid now. Oops. Yeah.
It just takes one thing sometimes, huh? Gosh, those Emmy rooms are intense.
Yeah, they are intense. Steph's actually afraid of Metroids, even though she likes the games quite a bit. So whenever I play the Metroid music or she hears it, she gets upset and yells at me.
Mm-hmm. Did Steph have a good time? Disney World.
Yes, she did. Absolutely. I could tell she was very much into it, very much everywhere we were going, she was like, there was a lot of times where we get off a ride and she would want to do it again. I'm like, oh, it might be hard, but maybe you can go do it. I'll take the kids somewhere. And we made that happen a couple of times. She rode Guardians twice that way, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So she had a very good time. And
good.
I was happy. She's good at planning that stuff. So she did pick a lot of the restaurants and the dining plan and stuff like that. And all that stuff worked out really well. So yeah, very happy with it.
Man, just can't wait till you go again and bring me along this time.
Yeah, we've done a couple times. So Mike should just be here. Why isn't he here?
Why is he just like? I would have stopped you from trying to traverse to Hollywood Studios to Magic Kingdom through monorails. Yeah, but then I
wouldn't rode the Skyliner, and the kids definitely were happy.
You know what?
That is the one place where we saw Fix-It Felix, which is one of Addie's favorite characters. So.
It is surprising how little, because there's 2 movies of that character, and there's not very much Wreck-It Ralph stuff in the parks.
Yeah, you're right, and Wreck-It Ralph stuff in general. But I think we did see Princess Vanellope maybe in one other spot, and I don't know if we saw Wreck-It Ralph himself anywhere. But she's definitely like Fix-It Felix is her character. She was gone as Fix-It Felix for Halloween 2 Halloweens in a row now. So it was like very nice to just see him represented somewhere in the park. So it was worth it. El Grug, Mike, buy that Columbo game from Ben Studios yet?
Yeah. So while you were gone, we were talking about Ben Studios because of Days Shawn, and I was just looking at their list of games. The first game they ever released, Jeff, in 1993 is Columbo's Mystery Capers for the Apple Newton.
What?
It's a black and white detective game for the
little the personal assistant thing. Yeah.
Yep. You play it with a stylus. There's like one picture of Columbo in it, and I turned it into a very bad, unreadable emote on Giant Bomb.
Oh, is that what that was? Someone's like, hey, could you tell what this emote is that Mike uploaded? I'm like, that's nonsense. I can't see what any of that is. So, okay. Yeah. Did you buy it?
No, not yet. But that's how Ben Studio got their start. They started making Apple Newton games.
That's crazy. And then they went and made Bubsy 3D.
Bubsy 3D was their first console game.
And
then it was just like nothing but Siphon Filter, and then like some of those port PSP and Vita games, and then Days Gone.
Yeah, I've been getting the urge to play some Siphon Filter right now. So maybe, but I
was never a Siphon Filter guy.
Me neither. I was looking at those games like, ugh. And now I'm like, So we'll see. Maybe I'll spend some time with Siphon Filter.
They are very jank, but fun in their own way. I grew up on those games, so I like them a lot.
That's the sense I get from them. Yeah, and I'm like, listen, I've already beat Bubsy 3D. I should go back and beat that Columbo game.
How much worse could it get?
Yeah,
right?
How much worse can it get? And now let me complete my bend, journey here, my odyssey. All right. I think that does it for the super chats, Mike.
Well, I think that's going to do it for the show. I don't think we're playing too much about traveling.
Yeah, I mean, I had the little Game Boy Advance Chinese handheld with me, and I played, I think I did play some like Castlevania games and stuff like that. But that's it. Not much. The battery died on that thing, and I never had a chance to charge it again. And I had the Switch, but we never got it out. So yeah, I haven't been playing much.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing Dragon Quest 3, which is on Switch, but I've been playing it on my Roger Li-X. I meant to look into it more, but I initially heard some things about the Switch version not being amazing, perhaps. Sure. But I want to look at that more before I pass judgment there. But I've been having a great time with Dragon Quest 3, so we'll probably play some more of it tonight while I continue to watch my dinosaur documentary from the 1990s.
Yeah, I'm watching. We got home and I was like, I want to learn more about these parks, and then Disney Plus has like a series where they go in deep on a lot of the attractions.
That's executive produced by The Rock.
Yes, yeah, because the first episode was about the Jungle Cruise, and they made it very clear that his movie was coming out. So I just finished the Jungle Cruise one, and then we skipped to the Star Tours one because that was a big hit with the family. We rode that 3 times because the line was so short, and the kids really liked that. The biggest bummer was Rise of the Resistance. We did it, and then Emmy was like fell in love with it and wanted to go back to it. We never got a chance to do it again. So it's like, man, that would have been nice.
I mean, that ride it's hard to get on, but doing it once
we should have just done the first day would have been fine because again we were there on a very not busy day, and then on Saturday the line was like 2 hours very quickly. So.
That Jungle Book movie is not bad.
Not bad. I enjoyed it. I think it's like, it's not as good as like the Dungeons and Dragons movie, but it's definitely in that league, I think. So, yeah.
Is it better than Red One?
I mean, of course I could answer that question because I'd seen Red One like everybody.
Red One was a game changer, all right? It changed everything.
It changed everything. Yep. Hey, we got one more super chat pop in there.
Yeah, let me take a look here from Hex Pref. Siphon Filter has an insane story. Please play. Yeah. Okay, I will.
There you go.
You can burn people alive with the taser on that game. It's pretty fucked up.
All right, that sounds fantastic.
How close do you think Dan was to accidentally killing himself when he was just waking himself up with a taser.
I mean, it's
I
definitely
think
close.
he did damage to himself.
Right, because it's like
For sure.
you don't want that going through your heart, right? And it definitely
No.
is going through your heart. That electricity, that shock, that jolt. So.
You are cooking your fucking nerves with that fucking taser gun
Jeff.
every single time you use it.
Yeah, Jeff, while you were gone, he asked us if he could bring a flashbang to the next extra live stream.
yeah.
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that wouldn't do us any like lasting harm, right?
You were
And we had to
somebody had to
explain
that
a real life
there's still-
flashbang grenade.
Yeah, there's
to
still
him.
shrapnel involved with flashbangs, and it could kill people.
Not to mention, like you can just
you
like
could
go
go blind.
blind.
Yeah, and
stuff,
hearing damage and stuff. Like,
Hearing
yeah.
damage, yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
Dan's
Well,
Dan's
all
a
right.
national treasure.
A lot of most flashbangs, if you throw it at a healthy adult human being, they survive. They're non-lethal. They're supposed to be non-lethal. You have a very high chance that it might kill you, though. Still.
yeah,
So,
right.
you don't want to
You're
get
just
flashed.
you don't want to do that in your home. Like, no.
Yeah, they're not like for prank.
Just in your
like,
basement while we're playing video games.
Yeah,
throw a flag
right.
gun.
With a bunch of stuff around. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, that's a bad idea. We could do it to Dan though. We'll just throw him in a tarp or
Let's tell
something.
him it's a great idea. Do it by the most expensive games you own.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect. Another super chat here. Adam Steen. I just realized Jeff was at Disney the same time as my sister's family. Yeah, we ran into a couple people, said hi. It was it's always
nice.
odd when Steph's around when that happens, because she's just like, what is this? What's it like?
Hell yeah.
And then she gives me just a tiny bit of shit after it happens each time too. Not like a bad way, but she's just like, you're like, what is that like? I'm like, I don't know. It's fine. It's just saying hi to people.
Great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
Steph was very. She's like, "Do you want me to get your picture to the person?" Like, please. I'm like, "Oh yeah." I didn't even think to ask. So it was good to have Steph around. She took a picture. A couple
There
people.
you go.
It was nice. Yeah.
Were your kids impressed?
They
Or
don't.
are
They
just
don't
confused?
even. It doesn't even phase them. I don't think they even realize it's happening. They're just like, this is just another adult that the adult in my life is talking to. So, yep.
Well, I think we're done here, Jeff.
Yeah, I think we are. I think it was a
Did
bit.
it. Oh, I guess we should probably say, God, we were talking about maybe squeezing something in for Game of Society. I don't know if we're doing that or not. Like maybe just
If we have an episode on Thursday, it will not be live, and it'll be very short. So it might even just be on the podcast feeds. I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out right now. But yes, so don't expect a normal episode on Thursday.
There you go. Yes, American Thanksgiving. So again, have a good holiday if you are celebrating, and have good travels. Yes, Pikmin.
Play the music. That's what I said.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Bye. And sometimes we run out of. Well, sometimes we have a lot more time than we need to say goodbye.
Sometimes you simply
You know what I
know
mean?
when you just recorded the worst podcast in history. Shout out to Emron.
Shout outs to Emron. I believe
Emron.
got home today from the hospital. I hope you're doing well.
Yep,
Emron.
exactly.
Yes.
You got enough-
Man, Christian was right. We should have started playing the music earlier.
And this is the short music. The other one's way longer than this.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like I have a lot more to say,
Wow.
but I can't remember any of it. So
I
clearly
know.
I
I don't
don't.
remember Shaq shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hungry. I got
Keep
some
talking
dishes,
about
I
Disney.
think.
I don't know.
I'm still looking at this
Guys, you
saw the
crystal
brain?
Photoshop. Good job,
I'm not.
Sean.
I spent so much time on that.
You like
It's a
you
work of
you
art
enjoy
and a
that
lot
Oh, they
time.
can't hear the music. There they go. There you go.
You're killing it.
Jeff had a long week on
Hey,
vacation,
guys,
everybody.
my brain is barely functioning. Bye.
Bye.
It's Donald Duck for real.
Donald Duck for real.
God, he didn't know.
I love to whack off to Crystal.
Glad that one's still on the board.
You know,
Took
I
me
beat
11 and a half hours to beat it.
Yeah.